In the last 3 hours, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis admitted to a personal relationship with an outside prosecutor she appointed to manage the election interference case against former President Donald Trump. In a 176-page court filing, Willis said she and Nathan Wade developed a relationship in 2022, but that there was no relationship prior to his appointment as special prosecutor. Willis denies any claims of misconduct and says there was no evidence that the relationship between her and Wade had prejudiced the case. We'll have more on this story, including one legal expert's take on the impact on the election interference case that's coming.
Let's rock on the mic. What's up, everybody? And you are listening to the best of the Media Mike radio show. I am your host, the Media Mike Speaks, sponsored by New Justice Media, where we are the voice of the everyday citizen. The time is now 32 minutes past the hour here in the Lone Star State. So let's get to this story before it is too late. All right, good people, I'm pretty sure you've heard in the news a lot of things have been going on. And we're going to get to this story of Fani Willis finally making her confession. Go ahead and admitting to what went on. But before we get started, let me draw your attention to another story in the news. Let's do a shout out to an RIP to the late veteran actor, Carl Weathers. So for those of you who remember him in the Rocky franchises, so Apollo Creed, he also played in Predator and a host of other movies too. So he was 76. I'm pretty sure you've heard of that in the news. So anyway, Fani comes clean. Yes. Which we already knew. Now, this does not add to her credibility. It only damages it even more, which is bad. Now, according to court documents filed earlier this month by Michael Roman, who has just subpoenaed her and Nathan Wade. So he's a Trump co-defendant. And this is about this election interference, which we all know the charges against Trump. And Roman accused Fani and Nathan Wade for having an improper affair, whom she hired to prosecute the 2024 GOP frontrunner. Now, Roman and his lawyers say the alleged impropriety should disqualify her from the case. That remains to be seen, but that is coming up because I think Congress, she has to go before Congress and or the Senate or somewhere to testify, and that's not going to be good. Now, in a court filing Friday, Willis told the Superior Court that while the allegations against her are salacious, they have no merit, and denies that there is a conflict of interest. You see, ma'am, yes, they do, because let me tell you, you are in no position to say what has no merit. It's called trust, and trust has been broken. Rules have been broken. You have no merit. This is where this is at this point. You can't say it's not a conflict of interest. You can't say this shouldn't have anything to do with me being distracted from the case. Hey, we can't trust you. We don't know what went on. You can say it started here, and here's the thing. Let me finish. Willis claims that while she and Wade have been professional associates and friends since 2019, now bear in mind now, Wade mentored her when she got her first, when she got the DA. He used to be a judge. This is interesting. There was no personal relationship between her and Wade in November 2021 at the time of Wade's appointment, and that Roman and his lawyers offer no support for their insistence that the exercise of any prosecutorial discretion, i.e. any charging decision or plea recommendation in this case was impacted by any personal relationship, unquote. You can't prove that. You can say it, but you can't, because we don't know when the relationship started. You are now admitting, yes, that it happened It's true. And now you're trying to put a timeline on it. Oh, but it started at this point and not then. We don't know what to believe. You just admitted it was true. You could have been with the man back in 2015. We have no idea. But you just admitted that it is true. Everything that you denied at this point has come out. You went to the church running your mouth because you didn't want to hold a press conference because, you have to answer questions. And you went to the old church because you know how the toe tapping, hand clapping African Americans are. They'll believe anything. They're like that old commercial with Life. I'm not going to try to give it to Mikey. He'll eat anything. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. And that's just sad and pathetic. But anyway, let's continue. District Attorney Willis has made no public statements that warrant disqualification or judicial inquiry. And criticism of the process utilized to appoint and compensate the special prosecutors in this case demonstrates basic misunderstandings of rudimentary county and state regulations and provides no legal basis for dismissal of the indictment or disqualification of any member of the prosecution, the document states. This is her challenge. That's a pushback. And I say again, I understand, but we can't believe you. We can't trust you. You can say, despite the fact that, okay, it is true, I'm going to go ahead and come clean. This should have no bearing on the fact that the case against Trump needs to go forward. We don't know what to believe anymore. See, when you lie, you lose credibility. When you finally come out, you lose credibility. Now, we don't know what else you're lying about. Now, Willis argued that motions filed by Roman and his legal team should be denied without the evidentiary hearing scheduled for February 15th. They're not going to deny that. You lied. You lied. And now you come, which we already knew. We were just waiting on you, Fani, to come through with the truth. And you did. After you filibustered, you didn't like the filibuster, but you filibustered and played around and tried to insult the people's intelligence. Now, Steve Sadal, lead counsel for Trump in the Georgia case, said in a statement Friday, the Fulton County DA's response asked the court to turn a blind eye to her alleged personal and financial misconduct. Yep. Adding that he believes her sole objective is to avoid the evidentiary hearing. Yes. Sadal said, he goes on to say that while Willis admits to a personal relationship with Wade, she fails to provide full transparency and necessary financial details. Yes, she does. It's more evidence needs to come out that she's not disclosing. Sadal said that while Willis, let me go back. Nothing has changed. Our requested remedy remains clear. Dismiss the case and disqualify the DA together with her team and office from any related matters, said Sadal. Yeah. Now, I don't know if that will stand, but it's not going to look good. If she remains on this case, no one's going to watch it. No one's going to care. She's not going to be trusted. If she's get taken off, who's going to take it? It's still tainted. It's done. It's the fruit of the poisonous tree. If one part is bad, it's all bad. You can't say, well, let's take corrupt cops. You can't say, well, even though these 2 times I planted evidence, the rest of the time I didn't. Man, we don't know what to believe. You probably planted evidence all the time. See, I'm sorry. It just doesn't work that way. In the Georgia state legislature, 2 bills have been voted out of the House and Senate that would empower separate commissions to investigate Willis' office. Last week, Georgia's GOP-controlled Senate voted to form a special committee that would have subpoena power to investigate Willis. Republican Senator Greg Dolezal, who introduced the measure, said the multitude of accusations surrounding Ms. Willis, spanning from allegations of prosecutorial misconduct to questions about the use of public funds and accusations of an unprofessional relationship, underscores the urgency for a thorough and impartial examination, unquote. God, all this on her. This would take about a year to get through because this is just not going to go away. On Monday, the Georgia House members passed a bill to revive the Prosecuting Attorneys Qualifications Commission with powers to discipline and remove prosecutors. which Republicans could potentially use to target Willis. If they've already passed this bill, they revived this bill, which they suppressed in the past, I do believe, which in the past had the power to remove prosecutors or discipline them, then they just brought it back. Yeah, they're probably going to vote to remove her. John Malcolm, a former assistant U.S. attorney in Atlanta, told Fox News Digital in an interview that the allegations against Willis are serious. They ought to be looked into, and it is certainly imperiled this prosecution and given a black mark not only to Fulton County but potentially to the entire state. So I can understand why the Georgia legislators up in arms about this. Yeah, if you have one of the biggest cases, you were pushed into prosecuting a former president of the United States. They pushed you up to do it, and you fell for it. Malcolm, who currently serves as the director of the Meese Center for Legal and Judicial Studies, said that this is a difficult moment for Willis, who he says could ultimately decide to recuse herself from the case. I think that's coming next, most likely. This is really too heavy. The trial date for the sweeping racketeering case against the former president has not yet been set, and it's not clear that should Willis and her team be removed or recused, a new prosecutor would pursue some or all of the charges against Trump. And like I said, this is still not looking good for District Attorney Fani Willis. For her to hold on to this case is pure, in my opinion, stubbornness. Even if it was to continue, she no longer has the public trust behind her. I predict this case will fall apart. Let's say she recuses herself. No other prosecutor most likely would want to touch it. Therefore, most likely leading to a continuous stall or potentially dismissal. Until next time, this is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Have a good night.
Understand you soon, it won't be long. Keep on, keep running.